me while you're in my world. You see, I defy impossible. Once I start, I'm unstoppable. Learn from the best as I travel along my quest to success, and no, it ain't chance. I plan it out in advance. Hey guys, what's up, Legendary Squad? I am back like I never left. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we're going to talk about 7 ways to maximize productivity and finish the year strong. These ways I like to view as steps. Step number 1, guys, is going to be to reflect. All right. Reflecting is important, number 1, because that's where you say, look, let me go ahead and look at where I'm at now. You know, be honest about where I actually wanted to be in this amount of time. Be very, very open and honest about that location. What resolutions, what goals may I have set that I did not succeed on, or that I haven't really taken much action on. Those are the types of things that you want to reflect on. Those are the types of things that you want to look into and go ahead and self-examine. All right, that's very important in moving along your steps to success. That's very important in you going to the next step. You have to reflect. You have to see where you may have fell short. You have to see where you may have dropped the ball, and go ahead and be open and honest about it. And from there, you have a foundation of where you are. From there, you have a workable foundation on where you can step up from. You have a workable understanding of where you're at. You're able to move from that location, being that you know where you're actually at in the first place. And that's going to be step number 1, is to reflect, and reflect often. Step 2, way number 2, is going to be for you to pick up the pieces. Guys, pick up the pieces. What this means is, don't get stuck. It's really, really easy to have gone through something, to even reflect and look at where you are, having been honest with yourself, and realize you just don't, you haven't done enough. You don't necessarily like the progress that you have not made. You know what I mean? And that can be hard. When you look at that, when you look at what that looks like for your life, that can be hard. But though it is hard, it is necessary, guys. It is absolutely necessary that we look at it for what it is, not worse than it is, and we pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces. That means to know that we can do better, and that we will do better, and to know that because you may have fell short in the past, or because it may not have worked out the way you wanted it to in the past, that does not mean that it is that way for always. It does not mean that that is the end all be all, and that you cannot turn this around. What the hell am I hearing? So definitely always remember that you are powerful, that you can, and that you will. Okay, this is a mind state thing, guys. We got to get this mind state down if we intend to go anywhere, if we intend to shoot for any goals and obtain anything that we actually have our heart and mind set out to do. Understand that it's going to be a process. Understand that it's going to be hard at times. Okay, you will fall, you will miss a goal, you may miss a deadline, but stay steadfast. No matter what, stay steadfast. You can. And it's a mind state. That's why I must drill that to you. This is a mind state thing. This is mind over matter. That's just not a saying. That's just not something to say and now actually understand the true meaning of what that means. Mind over matter. That means your mind really matters, okay? Your mind really controls this matter which you are made up of. Your mind actually controls everything that you have going on. And now that's a very deep state. Unpacking that is actually a deep concept, and that's something that I actually intend to get into at a later time. Different video, different time for that topic. But at the end of the day, your mind over matter, guys. You create your reality. Just hone that. Hone your control. Never ever give that up. Step number 2 is pick up the pieces. Mind state, mind over matter. You got this. Step number 3, way number 3 is going to be to take action now. After you've picked up the pieces, guys, after you know that you got this, after you know that, look, my mind controls my life, I create my reality. Once you know these things for a fact, it's now time to take action. It's not enough to just know these things. You must act on them. Your life must reflect that you know that. Your actions, your everyday life and actions must reflect that you know and understand that you can. Okay, it's not enough for you just to know that in a sense of intelligence. It's actual action that's behind that. So take action now, guys. What does that look like for you? Does that look like taking a course to get better understanding on a certain area or a certain expertise that you're actually trying to gain, or a step along your process to presenting your information? It may be something that you need to take a course on. For example, say you want to be a public speaker, say you want to motivate people, say you want to actually speak on public platforms, but you're not quite comfortable, you're not quite knowledgeable in how that actually works. That is your step at that point to then take the initiative to invest in a course, invest in a coach, someone who's actually going to be able to hold your hand, give you a recipe book step by step to be able to accomplish a certain task. There's a coach out here for everything that you may want to do. Everything. There's a coach for it. Invest in a coach. Do your research, do your homework and your due diligence. That is your job in the beginning. That is how you take action. You don't have to see the top of the staircase. You don't have to know every step of the way for you to begin to take action. When I started my blog, when I started livelegendary.com, I didn't know anything about what I was doing. I did everything from scratch, and I am still building my platform from scratch. But at the end of the day, you start to take action. If you believe in what you're doing and you know that you actually have a goal to accomplish, you know you want to get what your end result is, then you have to start working backwards. That is a real thing. Work backwards. Look at that full goal. Break that goal down. What does that look like in increments? What does steps of that look like? How does that break down? So that is your job. That is your job, to ask those questions to yourself and to do the research. The beginning stage of anything that you're doing is research. You want to do your research. You want to know what you're talking about. When it came to starting a blog, I took 8 months before I did anything with that blog, and it was straight research and understanding of how the blog works. There was a lot that goes into it, a ton. And that's with anything that you're doing in life. There are parts of the whole. There are steps that you have to take to get to the top. There is a path that you must follow and that you have to get on. And at the end of the day, it's about understanding that, for one, and taking the steps necessary, taking the action necessary to make it happen. You got it in you, and it just takes that you have the grit, have the tenacity, have the strength within yourself that you do have to just take that move, take that step. Because guess what? The best thing you can do is to move, and that is a successful move. That move brings great success towards your goal. That's the best thing you can do. The second best thing you can do is to move and make a mistake. Have that be the incorrect thing to do. But guess what? You learned from that move. You actually took action and you made something happen and you learned from it. The best thing about every step of this way is you're going to have something to bring from it. You're either bringing a blessing or you're bringing a lesson from what you've gone through. There is something to bring out of it. There is something positive to take from it. It's not a loss at all. You either have a lesson out of it or you got a blessing out of it. And at the end of the day, you own both of them, and you be appreciative for the both of them because they are both helping you towards your goal. So yes, that is the second best thing to do, is to take action and have that be the incorrect move. But at least you learned from that action. The worst thing you can do, the absolute worst thing, is to do nothing. That is the worst thing you can do, to take no action at all, because guess what? You don't got a lesson or a blessing out of that. You're stuck. You're in the same place where you were. You haven't learned anything. You haven't made any mistake. You haven't made any growth. And that is the absolute worst. You are much more better off getting a lesson out of a situation where you moved and it was the incorrect step than for you to do nothing at all. You're not learning a thing, and you're not helping anyone. Definitely not yourself towards your goals. That's going to be step number 3, guys. Wrapping up, take action. You want to take action. You want to move. Okay, the worst thing you can do is to be stagnant and to do nothing, or to have analysis paralysis and just sit and try and have it perfect before you take the first step. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Start messy. Start messy, guys. What you're doing with me right now is starting messy. We're starting messy together. We're living legendary, but we are starting messy, honey, together. Know this, okay? Nothing's perfect on this end. You guys are walking my journey with me. I am appreciative to have you, but at the end of the day, we are all on a journey. That's what we're here for. High vibrations and positive manifestations. Step 4, number 4, guys. Way number 4 is going to be momentum. Momentum is not going to come. Momentum is going to elude you. Momentum is never going to show its face to you if you never take action. Momentum is that lovely thing that happens. It's the most amazing thing that happens once you've put in the work. Once you put in the work, once you begin to take the steps, not knowing where you're going, not knowing what the end result is going to be, being in the unknown, which is a very it's a very scary place to be, but at the end of the day, it's powerful. Your power lies there because there's no growth in your comfort zone. That's why it's a comfort zone. Now, when you get into a little discomfort, you're growing, you're moving, you're stretching. All right. When it's time for the baby to come out the womb, the baby overgrows that wound. The baby gets too big for that wound, starts to move around, and it's tight in there, and it's ready to make its transition into the next stage of its being. So understand that when you're uncomfortable, get happy. When you're uncomfortable, that's where you want to be, because you're in your growth. It's all about momentum. Momentum comes in when you've put in the work, when you begin to take those steps towards your goal. That then a piece you didn't even know what you didn't know, but someone comes along with a piece of something that you needed to get you to the next step, and you didn't even know that was the next step. You didn't even know that you needed that. But that is how momentum comes to help you. That is where it comes into play in your life, and the beauty of it. Once you've put in the work, guys, it's mind state. I can't stress enough the mind state that you must develop along your journey to accomplishing anything worthwhile. You must develop the mind state that's going to get you there, and that's going to maintain an environment suitable for growth. An environment where there's chaos, where there's just uncertainty, and not embracing this uncertainty, but there's discomfort in the uncertainty, and there's stress and just chaos. Like, that is a very, very unproductive environment. And that is an environment where you are going to halt or slow down your own progress. And that is what we don't want to do along our goals, guys. We want to work at this. No one's perfect. It's not easy to stay in a positive mind state in the midst of trial or in the midst of ups and downs. It's absolutely not easy. That is why a lot of people don't make the journey. They don't succeed. Your success will elude you if you don't have a strong enough mind state. And that's why my mission over anything else, over teaching about credit, over teaching about, anything relating to money, like, it's mind state over all of that. With the correct mind state, you will get all of that. You will get that and more than you could ever imagine. So my position, my job, my mission when I come to you guys, when I present myself to you guys, is to present value.
You guys definitely go ahead and click on over to part 2.
See, I defy impossible once I start.